Yeah. The question is, it's like there's some good, like there's some insanely good legends, but then there's some like
Mid. All right, both bars. So sword and hammer got buffed. Hammer is still bad matchups, and meta is just guitars and battle boots, and yeah. I mean, it has hard matchups, but both weapons got buffed. I'd say like A tier. I think that because there's the Sig kit is mid, but the weapons are solid.
Even though Cassidy has like a 9 dex combo, do you think Cassidy deserves A, or do you think like the stats are so unredeemable that it like doesn't really matter? I feel like it should just be an A. Because the stats are it's just such a holdback.
Yeah, I feel like it could be an A. Yeah, it should be an A. Yeah.
Orion. Is that? I don't know, bro. He's S or SS. I think it's between the two for sure.
The DC got nerfed on Spear, so it's not gonna be killing as early. Like Spear got nerfed, his Lance got nerfed. I think it's S. I think we won't be seeing like
too many in SS. SS is pretty extreme.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Vrax.
He has really, really great SIGs.
I think he just might straight up go in S. Ben known. His SIG kit's crazy good. The weapon comp is pretty strong. The stats aren't great.
But his like coverage on every single hit is just so scary. It's like Kaya kind of.
Yeah.
It's exactly like Kaya.
Yeah. Nash. Oh, brother.
Personally, I've been on the Nash, and I'm kind of feeling like it's A.
If you can hit the SIGs, it's gonna be good. But I don't know. I find Nash to be kind of mid sometimes. Like I feel like he's one of those characters. Like the stats are good, and the SIGs are great. But I think the like bad matchup stuff we talked about with like Hammer, I think it's just even worse for a character like Nash sometimes. Nye, I feel like this isn't just a B.
Oh yeah, I think it's just, I think it's just B2.
Yeah, like there's certain characters, because the thing is with Nye, has guitars, has spear, both really good weapons, really good SIGs, but there's characters that are both honestly way better for both.
Every other guitar character is just, I feel like, so much better than Nye. If you look at Caspian, you look at Lucy and Asuri, Sentinel, they're all just so consistent compared to that character. There's
certain matchups where I remember seeing like at BCX, both Stingray and Zakoi, they played into Scythe with Nye. It was so bad. Like, it was such a bad matchup. Like, I think the speed is just sometimes too much. Like, Cassidy really gets away with it because buffs and stuff.
Yeah, I remember fighting Stingray on it. Felt so good for me when I saw him switch to Nye, to be honest.
Yeah, Scythe is just a terrible matchup for low speed legends in general. And I think like Spear and Catards can sometimes kind of do bad into Scythe. So it's like really bad. It's like bad matchups for other legends with the same weapons are really bad matchups for Nye. Hattori, I mean, you can like do super well with Hattori if you're playing solid. Outright, there's never felt like anything crazy good on the character. DI and Sig is strong. Overall, the whole Sig kit's pretty strong. There's definitely characters with more.
Same level as like Orion, to be honest.
I don't even like ranking this character because I just pretend like he doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Put him in like A tier. I mean, his Sig kit is pretty insane, like on sword especially. I mean, his last Sig kit just doesn't exist compared to the sword kit.
Right. It's just like move on, forget him. Scarlet.
Pretty good.
With the buffs too. Yeah. Just call it an A tier. All right, Thatch.
Yeah, he's up there with us.
You only need to win like 2-3 interactions to put someone in kill percent, because you have Deli and Sig true for so long now, and you can even hit it running strength stance. So you can have 8 strength and do Deli and Sig like up to what, like around 60 health or so maybe, and now they're like a Delight recovery away, especially depending on the map.
Dude, every time I play against Llama, I literally just get hit by like 2 interactions and I'm literally almost dead for no reason.
Yeah.
And he just kills me in yellow.
Yeah, it's really good having a character like Thatch because it's high speed, high damage on blasters. And I think like blasters having both of that is really strong. With that being said, 3 defense characters, so I'm not like, he's never gonna be like SS, but he could be if he did have like more defense. Like if he had base 4 and like going up to 5 took away a dex, this character would probably be one of the best in the game. Ada, You really think B tier with Ada?
A tier or B tier? Like her being 9 level makes sense to me, to be honest. Because they both have like really strong SIGs, but it's like hard to hit, to be honest.
I think that the stats of Ada are considerably better than Nai, and I think having like higher speed on Spear is really good. 6, 6, 4, 6 as your stat line with Ada generally if you take defense stance. You can't go wrong with any of the SIGs on Spear. We can put her in A, I think, for now.
Yeah, it is fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never really fight Ada, so it's hard to like know.
Right.
I just look at the stats and I'm like low defense and blasters and Spear.
I mean, yeah. I think the higher speed, though, can sometimes be better than having, like, the higher defense. All right, Sentinel, this is all you, because I do not play this character.
Super solid SIG kit and just so consistent with every read. Like, definitely S or SS. Like, S or SS. I think it's S, to be honest.
Lucian, we both been rocking him lately. I honestly think this guy is SS.
I think he's SS, yeah. It's just, like, the whole... I've been playing Lucian, and the whole SIG kit just flows so well. Like, you can do everything with all the SIGs. Like every SIG has a use. It's not like you just like don't use a SIG. Like literally every SIG on that kit has a use.
Yeah, and they flow well, especially on guitars. On guns, it's a little weirder, but I mean, whatever. Like having guitars and having SIGs that flow well with a weapon, especially like guitars, like you can do sidelight into like side SIG, end SIG, D SIG, just kind of pick whatever read you want. And the D-Sig, they buffed the D-Sig for no good reason.
D-Sig alone just puts it in SS.
Yeah. Big Boy Rose.
Both weapons got buffed. S or A, like his 6 kills so early and he just does, he's like literally doing half your HP on every hit.
Yeah, it takes less interactions to win, and given the ease of use, having those SIGs, I think, it makes like all the difference. The fact that they like buff some of them too. Stat line's also pretty good. But if you're running into certain matchups, it is going to feel bad, but you always have the comeback factor. You always get to kill in orange, pretty much. Bryn, this is 1v1 focused. If it was like in general, I would just say SS. But personally, I think Bryn's a pretty freebie, like just S.
Yeah, she's definitely S. Yeah.
If Axe was better, 100% SS. But it's not like that right now. A Suri.
Literally just build up damage with guitars, pick up sword kill, super robbery SIGs. Yeah, perfect meta. Yeah, I think has to be SS right now. Has to be.
Yeah.
Like you look at a Suri and you're just like, yeah, I could play this whenever I want.
Yeah, it's like the Val of this meta, pretty much. That's the best way to put it. All right, Barraza. Yeah, it's just the meta. Like Axe Hammer characters still are gonna not have the best of time dealing with certain characters. The stuff that's stronger than them. So that's really all that holds him back. Ember, I'm curious about this.
So they nerfed the Ember instinct on Bow, but like, what happened? Like, I don't even know what changed.
I think it was damage a little bit, and then they shaved the hitboxing, so it doesn't hit as stacked as it used to.
But she's bow and guitars, so super good SIGs, low defense, good weapons.
Yeah, guitar kit, not necessarily great. Like if you're really gonna find success on Ember, it's gonna be revolving around like the end SIG.
I'd put her in S. I mean,
like if you can play it well, this character is gonna feel so hard to fight. But if you're not committed to a certain style, I think it's gonna suck a little bit.
Like I think Suri and Lucian are better than Ember, to be honest.
And then Azoth, I think this character is pretty good, but my question is like, why ever touch this character? But I think it'd be a crime to put the character in B.
He got nerfed, but he's still an A tier. Like,
yeah,
I feel like he's just always been A tier for me.
Koji, is this just a freebie SS?
Oh yeah, this is SS. This is SS. Like sword and bow, literally nothing wrong with the character at all.
Yeah, literally didn't get changed.
Yeah. Yeah, just everything about this character is just absolutely insane.
Ulgrim.
Solid S.
Yeah, I mean, just throw him in here. Yeah, all the SIGs, right? I mean, the meta does hurt him a little bit, but the fact, like, the thing is, when I play, like, Lucian into Ulgrim, even though I love the matchup with Katars into, like, Axe in particular, and Lance it's okay too to me, because of that low, like the high defense and the low attack, it kind of allows him to get away with a little more, even if you are playing Ulgrim and like getting caught in strings and stuff.
Like in Ulgrim and you're like so confident, like your stats are great, your weapons just cover so much.
You have like, SIGs that you can fall back on.
There's not really nothing to be scared of. You just have to play well.
Diana?
Bow and blasters kind of hard to kill sometimes. Her delay instinct on bow is like the main thing. Not really gonna rob stocks like that. So yeah, she's consistent. She's good. not crazy. So yeah, I think S.
Jala.
Glass cannon, bro. This character is like so insane, like so explosive. Actually insane.
And in twos, like last year, Pugsy was having a ton of success with this character in 2v2. I'm just curious if anyone else is gonna kind of pick it up, or if Pugsy's still gonna be playing Jala. Speed, I mean, is 5, which is it's fine. And I think the weapon comp is really good, and the SIGs are so ridiculous. For whatever reason, you can't find the SIGs. That's gonna be tough. But with that being said, the higher attack kind of makes up for that anyways, so it's somewhat whatever. 4, I think so, he's so simple, but the SIGs, like, they hit so hard. Meta is just so not favorable to him. It's so funny because it's like, there was a time where Core was undoubtedly probably top 3 in the game and no one played him. And then it was like, okay, gauntlets are pretty good, but hammer's bad. And then it became, gauntlets are now, we're unsure where gauntlets are gonna kind of fall. Hammer's now buffed again, so the character's just like, stats are okay, SIGs are great, but lately it's been one of his weapons kind of down the drain a little bit.
Like, he's there, but like, who's gonna pick him up?
The Shang. They've been slowly chipping away at him. I don't know how I feel about them.
We're speaking in 1v1, like if it was 2s, like definitely SS.
Yeah.
But speaking in 1s, so I think S is a solid place to put him. His weapons are really like read heavy. SIGs are really strong, but sometimes it can be pretty hard to kill with that character if you're not hitting your SIGs like that.
Because you can't just really fall back on any combo, like bread and butter combo pretty much, unless you get a read. Vow, gauntlets really aren't that bad. Like it just will take more time to kind of determine this. This character, I don't know if this character will be able to be in SS. But I think the sword alone, like Demon Island is just off the table in terms of like, there's not many characters that can do that. Like Rayman can, this character can. Like I think the sword is still crazy good, and so are the stats.
He fits perfectly in S for that.
Yeah. Ragnar, I think this character's sleeper insane.
Yeah, he's definitely sleeper, but he's literally, in my opinion, just S because he can't kill. I've been through a Ragnar phase, and I just remember having people in dark, deep red sometimes and just being like, okay, I gotta pick up Axe and N-Light or D-Light or hit a Sair on guitars or something. Like, that's like the most you can do.
Cross. There might be an argument for him to be an SS, honestly.
He has these really strong SIGs. Nobody hits them in ones. Like, nobody hits them in ones ever.
Yeah. His team ability is unmatched, but in ones... And they nerfed his ability in general with the Gauntlet N-Light nerf and the N-Sig nerf to just randomly rip like an N-Light and be able to kill, and an N-Sig to be able to like kill. It probably kills pretty early still, but it's just not completely outrageous like it was before. If
you get a read on this character, you are getting a lot of damage, but it still is hard to, kill sometimes. Gauntlet nerf and N-Sig nerf. The read's heavy.
Mirage is straight up SS. I think this character has been in the dark for super long. And I don't generally like 5 or lower speed on Spear. Having an unreactable side sig on Spear that kills so early and like 8 strength, just being on the table as far as if you want to take that stance and go down to 5 dex. Fast damage. SIGs are overall just completely ridiculous. D-Sig on both. Nyx.
Yeah, I'd put him in S tier.
Yeah.
His weapons are super good right now. The low strength does, like, you'd hit like D-Light recovery and it's just unexpectedly weak. Like, your SIGs do hit hard, but they aren't as consistent as like, Lucian Splaster SIGs where you can just absolutely like rip them.
You have to be very good with your spots. The only one you can get away with really is the N-Sig. And then, the gun SIGs, gun side SIGs, kind of meh. The N-Sig is extremely good, and I think the D-Sig is also pretty good. But you just got to be able to find the spots. Like, the only Rob kind of SIG that this character has, like, straight up Rob, is the gun N-Sig. You could say maybe, like, the side SIG on Scythe, but you have to hit it, like, at the low angle so you can kill super early. Mordex?
Easy S, maybe SS. I don't know right now because of the Gauntlet nerf. And they also nerfed his side SIG on Scythe, like, super hard, I'm pretty sure.
But overall, it's hard to put this character ever lower than S. Yumiko, fun one. I think S or A. I can't see this character being B.
Many people do not like the stats on Yumiko, which is the reason why a lot of people don't play her, because you're having kind of like low defense and high dex and like low strength through.
The dex is kind of beneficial though for the weapons, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. But the SIGs are like not good. and they're kind of like simple, easy to avoid, kind of like the hammer and sig is carrying,
and the D-Sig. If like the bow D-Sig was better, this character would be like another Arcadia possibly. I'll get behind the A. Artemis
super good.
This character kind of has it all though. I mean, you can go up to 9 speed.
He has insane stats, insane sigs. His weapons are super solid.
I'm putting them in SS just because I convinced myself.
Caspian and the sigs didn't even get nerfed. Yeah, I think he's SS. You can just rob super hard, and like even though your weapons are kind of hard to kill, you're supposed to be taking stocks in orange. Yeah, if you play the character right, it's just over for the opponent.
Right.
And the stocks go by so fast. Like after having experience on Caspian.
Sidra?
I don't know where you like cannon ones. It feels a bit weird.
It's just super spammy. A lot of the cannon characters are just super ideal to like try if you're pro. Dex, the low dex can feel a little weird with sword, but the sigs, like D-Sig on sword is such a good thing to have. The N-Sig on cannon. And kind of having a string weapon like cannon, stats are extremely good. If this character was played more, I think we would both say like SS.
When you compare it to like these characters in SS, it's like not insane.
Zol, just to plop him in S, or is there a chance that he's SS?
I put him in S just because like in ones, the matchups are super hard since he's super slow.
Is Kaya still a demon? It's a pretty, it's a pretty easy SS.
Yeah,
you can tell they nerfed the kit, but
I don't even know why I thought about it, to be honest. Like definitely her sig kit is just always flowing, and when you're on bow, you just can literally cover everything. It's so scary when you hit a side light on an opponent and they just like, they literally can't go anywhere. Like every sig covers wherever they dodge.
Isaiah, I think he's kind of slept on a little bit. If the sig change went through, probably I would say for sure S.
You have to win a lot of interactions, I feel like, on this character, or like hitting like, you know, cannon D6s or blasters N6s, and they're doing really good. But I feel like if they're not hitting those SIGs, it's like kind of hard to build up that damage with the light attacks and stuff and like kill. It's
just pretty easy on Isaiah to always have a signature out. Like I think that's a very like important thing about the character. But the question is, does just having like a hitbox out, does that make him worthwhile just to be able to do that?
His stats make him A, in my opinion, and the weapon comp, it is good, but it's not as good as like sword and guitars or something, or like sword and...
Jiro?
Oh, Jiro is really good, dude.
Could he be possible SS or no?
Yeah, I think he's honestly SS. What would make him S?
The stats would be 100% the only thing. The fact that he's 3 defense.
But you're just getting so much for even having those stats in the first place.
Yeah.
Like the speed and the dex. Yeah, you get given so many combos for what the stats are.
Hey, you know what? Sure. Let's just put him in SS. And I think we actually might have another one instantly. Linfei.
9-dex guitar is just... And the thing is about 9-dex cannon too. Like we already know about 9-dex guitars. Like it's absolutely insane. But 9-dex cannon, since you have those stats like low strength and high dex, you're hitting combos that you can't hit on other high strength cannon characters. Like you can 0 to death way easier on Linfei
than Zol.
As if you were to Zol, because you're just hitting them closer to you.
Zariel, I think this is just an easy like S. It's not gonna be SS in ones. Zariel is just weird to me. And okay, this is so, I know this is like confirmation bias, but whenever I watched Phazon play Zariel, like the one person I've seen play Zariel, like he is just lost on that character whenever I've seen him play it. There's like such an incentive to throw out the SIGs, and they're gonna be great because like the gauntlets and bow I think is a great combination. But I think Zariel is like mainly a 2s character. Rayman?
Yeah, I think it's a S.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too crazy. You know what to look out for.
All right, Dusk.
Both these weapons are like so good right now against everything. His stats are 5 speed, 4 defense. I'm running attack stance, which gives me 7 strength and -1 dex. Gives me 6 dex. Weapons are so easy to build up damage with. Like,
well, the SIGs are fast too.
Yeah.
Like the Spear N-Sig, I actually think his Spear N-Sig just straight up might want to be one of the best SIGs in the game now.
For sure. Yeah, I think he's definitely... And it's such a good area to cover on Spear because you're just covering directly above you.
Fate. It's just Mordex with Orb, pretty much.
Yeah, it's really hard for this one to decide because her stats are really good for ones.
I think it's safe to say that the character probably should just be an S and maybe could be SS. It's just hard to tell because lack of players. Thor.
Wow, I forgot this character existed for a second. I think Orb and Hammer is such a good combo to have, just because you can build up damage really easily and then kill with Hammer, and the high defense makes it better because like even if you're getting hit, you're still consistently doing damage and then killing with Hammer. Yeah, he's definitely better than Bodvar. Like that Hammer and Sig is too crazy.
All right.
Hammer, because you have Stomp and Sig on that.
Petra. This character pre-patch would 100% be like in SS.
Her Sigs are absolutely amazing.
I feel like the matchups for this patch could just hurt this character a lot.
Oh yeah, that is one thing. Yeah.
Off of like Gauntlet Sidelight, the reads are crazy good.
Yeah.
But that's just it. Like a lot of the times you're having to look off of Gauntlet Sidelight, and Gauntlet Sidelight's the thing that got nerfed. Vector, I mean, let's be real. The character's definitely an S with currently. But with like the new Sig, with that Sig being like resolved, and he has a full complete signature kit at that point. Like there's not a single Sig that's not bad.
That is true. He's definitely S, yeah.
Volkov, if he had even 5 speed base, this character would be SS, I think. His signatures are so unfair to fight against. It's ridiculous. Like the fixed force of the side sig on Scythe, and then like even like the axe sigs, back side sigs just teleport, instant transmission, Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, as far as like slow speed legends go, one of, if not the best out of them. So like in my mind, I think he just falls into S pretty easily. Onyx.
Yeah, I don't value Cannon super hard in my opinion, because it's just sometimes when you're playing Cannon and you play against Sword, you're getting stuffed out like all the time, I feel like, and it's just so hard to get in, and then you don't really have a way to consistently kill besides like D-Light Nair on Cannon.
Jaehyun?
Either SS or S. Picking up Greatsword, like when you have Greatsword in your hands, you're not really thinking about anything besides just hitting your reads. And once you hit them, it's like so powerful. And this guy's stats are like super good for just building up damage and then killing with the Sigs. Because the Sig kit flows really well into the Greatsword. Yeah, the sword is okay, but the Greatsword Sigs are like the best probably.
The question is Mako better or worse than Jaehyun? Because I feel like Jaehyun kind of sets the bar.
No, I think simply because Jaehyun has a sword, he's just ultimately better than Mako, just because like
don't have to rely on reads.
Yeah, you don't have to rely on reads, and you're killing way more consistently than if you were on Mako.
I actually think the Sigs on Mako compared to the rest of the Greatsword characters and the whole cast. On Greatsword, there's nothing that's going to kill outright early. Unless if you maybe catch like a read with N-Sig or like side Sig if like off the side. But that's more like recovery ability with that Sig. And then Katars, like the side Sig hits pretty hard and the N-Sig is very good. But relying on those signatures can feel a little whack, I think. Sometimes, yeah, because they're not as hard hitting. Magyar,
it's so hard to get back against like Scythe, to be honest.
Yeah, he's another character that struggles with that sort of matchup, but he can take a hit. If you want like that middle of the road greatsword character, you play Jaehyun. When you want to troll, you play Magyar. The Reno,
super good right now. I mean, play the character solid and you're kind of just chilling. It's not like he has any weaknesses.
The character just is gonna feel good to play if you like playing a lot of guns, especially because of the way like you can just kind of get in and out with a lot of the Sigs. There's nothing really super risky, and they have some good hitboxes too. Moonin, is this a pretty easy SS? Not a huge fan, but I also kind of get my own head about when to use the Sigs. Every signature has like a purpose on both of the weapons, and the stats are insanely good. And you could go to 7 decks if you wanted to, which means you're going to be getting like D-Light Ground Pound on bow, which, you know, situational, but whatever. And you can also do like the Scythe combos at like the 7 decks unlocks. You could take higher speed, which you're gonna lose a dex there, I'm pretty sure. And I honestly think that's maybe not worth it. It's just kind of a game. Like, what do you want from the character? Like, this character can support whatever kind of play style and like stat lineup you want. Arcadia?
Oh my god. I literally been playing at Sandstorm on this like so much, and he's literally spamming D-Sig on Spear, and it's so insane. Like I genuinely think this character is SS if you know how to play Greatsword right.
Yeah,
and you're literally just, there's nothing wrong with it. Like the Spear is absolutely nothing wrong with it, but you know, Greatsword, it can be tough sometimes.
She has one of the few, if not the most unpunishable sig in the game, which is that spear D sig.
Yeah.
Like the way you can do setups and like start playing like some mind games with your opponent where you think that the Arcadia player is just going to throw out a D sig every single time to like set up a trap, and then they don't. Like, and the mix-ups you can do, really, really good. Ezio,
like the best, literally the best thing he has is sword D-Sig.
I agree. Teska, was the nerf significant?
SS for sure. Like, Boots, like, if we had to speak about Boots just being absolutely insane right now. Every time you get a hit, you can string off anything right now. You hit like sidelight, and even if they dodge like up or like any safe dodge, you can still cover it with dare. Absolutely insane. Everything is just insane. I don't know what to say. It's just so broken.
Yeah, and the way they like nerf the SIGs is kind of weird. Obviously, there's the whole like splash kind of knockback, but that only affects in 2s. And then they nerfed like the offstage versions of the SIGs pretty hard.
Yeah.
Almost like kind of like, well, why did they nerf it this much? But then they didn't touch the onstage versions. Kill it like, I don't know the exact health, but it's like on stage you can kill earlier than hitting like an offstage variant of a SIG, like way earlier. And it's just like, why? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Like, I guess maybe that's how it should be. But at the same time, I don't think that justifies like having one version of it killing super early just because the other is not necessarily that good. So some shifting around was done. Luna headed out. We also made a top 5. So pretty much top 5 is Teska. Teska even post nerfs is still insane. Like the SIGs on stage are whack. Gauntlet nerfs are kind of like the big question. Also, this is the first tournament we're seeing him in. Next is Kaya. Still overall super strong. Nothing really new. Lin Fei, just absolute masher mode. Arcadia, the D-SIGs in particular, I think are just insanely good. Stats, a little whack, but you can just spam the SIGs like none other. And then Mirage, kind of like the sleeper pick. Like, the only person I've seen playing Mirage ever pretty much is Taskin. So this character, I think, has some insanely good options. I don't know why, I guess, this character would be outside of the top 5. Maybe you can make arguments with other stuff. This is just our opinion. All right. But yeah, we're forming the meta. Teska's the best legend in the game, so get on him.